What's up, everybody? Sterling Cooley here. Quick video I wanted to make on some of the study progress we're doing with the Alzheimer's and dementia stuff, which I'm really excited about. I've been talking about this for probably a few years now, and we just hit a kind of a milestone moment in our, I guess, our effort to roll out a really cool treatment for Alzheimer's and dementia that actually uses ultrasound on the right prefrontal cortex to stimulate microtubules to rescue consciousness and restore memory, which is actually the mechanism and where the symptomology of Alzheimer's and dementia actually comes from in the first place. And it's not beta amyloid plaques. That's the key thing here, is that even the existing treatments that are being explored right now in the market, that are receiving billions of dollars in grants and billions of dollars in funding and billions of dollars in research, and there's a lot of money circulating around, is they're circulating around one single theory on how Alzheimer's and dementia works, which is probably wrong, completely misses the mark, absolutely. And what we're doing with this study is recentering what we believe is actually the real key thing here, which are microtubules, when it comes to the pathology of Alzheimer's and dementia, which is if you treat microtubules, specifically the ones in the pyramidal neurons in the prefrontal cortex, cortical layer 5 of the brain, of the cortex, that's actually where you need to be directing your treatment to successfully resolve the symptoms of Alzheimer's and dementia, meaning getting your memory back, recognizing friends and family, remembering names, remembering what you're doing, where you are, not being in a state of delirium, essentially, constantly. And we believe that the mechanism of where that is actually going to be resolved is in microtubules in the brain. So we decided to launch a study to analyze just how fantastic of a treatment ultrasound really is on these parts of the brain and on these microtubules. We're calling it a voice study. How that works generally is a patient with Alzheimer's and dementia will receive a treatment of ultrasound on their right prefrontal cortex. Then we're going to take a biomarker. We're going to do analysis of that patient in real time directly after administration of the ultrasound. The good news with ultrasound is it works so fast, within a few minutes of treatment, that you can observe and listen and actually capture and measure with special, very high frequency scanning technology. We're going to be using a sensor, a very specific microfabricated sensor. It's called a MEMS spectrometer. And it's going to actually take samples of the human voice 40,000 times. So people talk about EEG a lot, electroencephalogram. That only takes samples of brain activity at about maybe 100 times per second. We're going to amplify the resolution and the sample rate to 40,000 times per second. A lot better than EEG. So we're upgrading the mechanism of how you observe the human brain after a treatment with ultrasound. And our specific area we're going to roll that out to first is Alzheimer's and dementia. And so I'm really excited about it. Some of this technology is really next level, and I'm so excited to get the opportunity to share more about why the technology works the way it does and why it's so cool, and actually that I have really a personal connection to the technology myself, which actually goes back to when I was a kid. My mother was, and she still is, but she really loves whales and she loves ecology. She's an ecologist, and she has dedicated so many years of her life to natural preservation of the environments upon which whales and dolphins and sea creatures live and thrive. And so she's done a lot to bring awareness and raise awareness about whales, in particular, whales and orca pods up in, in Baja California, on the west coast of the United States specifically, and to protect their ecosystem. And one of the things that she specifically did, and when I was a kid, was to get a large team of whale experts, of ecologists, to travel up to Canada and attach a really advanced scanning device that can actually capture the calls of the whale at a much higher frequency than what humans can hear. And so she was analyzing whale call data back in 2000, maybe 1998, as far as I can remember. It was a long time ago, very, very long time ago. I was very young. Must have been 9-10 years old when she did this. I was like, Mom, I want to play PlayStation. I don't want to go on a boat and chase whales. But now that I'm older, I recognize and I can really appreciate, like, wow, what an incredible opportunity to get to do that, right? And we have pictures from that when I was a kid. Maybe I'll someday get kind of those up in more of a, I'll play I hope you had the time of your life. I'll play some Green Day in the background. It'll be kind of like a kumbaya kind of video. But for the time being, we're actually really trying to get this Alzheimer's study through right now. So we'll save the hardcore self-congratulatory back-patting celebration for later. But the Alzheimer's study specifically is gonna take some of these concepts actually that we learned in terms of high frequency scanning to listen for whale calls, which is an indication of consciousness, the presence of consciousness. Whales are conscious. I'm sure a lot of people are going, yeah, I know. But would you believe it? There are some people who would go see beautiful whales or orca pods, and they would go, yeah, I don't see any evidence of consciousness at all. It's just a simple biological, biomechanical machine. And I think those people are ridiculous, truly. I think they should be laughed out of the room to be like, yeah, there's beautiful whales that call to each other and live for such a long time, and they've been around for something like 500 million years or whatever. There's no evidence of consciousness there. I don't see it. I'm just not seeing the consciousness thing. I don't get what you're saying. I'm like, is there I'm not trying to be elitist here, but is there a deficit of some place in your own brain where you can't see that, where it's clear as day for others? I don't know. I'm not gonna feign some kind of weird higher ability to figure other people out. I don't like to pretend that I can read minds, and I would encourage you to not also pretend that you can read people's minds, because it's not a real thing, and you're never gonna get that. You're not gonna get very far by being like, I'm a good mind reader. No, you're not. Nobody's a good mind reader. Nobody can read minds. So I'm not gonna try to understand fully exactly what's going on there. But anyway, the voice is an indication of consciousness. People who are put to sleep under anesthetic don't usually start speaking. Sometimes they do, but there's something lacking in that process. But we want to understand that better. But at the end of the day, what we have found is that ultrasound, specifically directed to microtubules, is a very cool and very effective treatment for disorders of consciousness. And that's a well-known, well-established case at this point in time. So anyway, I want to make this cool, quick video, just kind of hit that 10-minute mark for YouTube, and let everybody know that we're cooking, we're building, progress is continuing forward. We had a huge milestone with what's called the tokenization of the voice data that's going to be put into this project. And what we're planning on doing is actually making sure that the first 50 patients that go through the actual study where they receive the ultrasound, and that we're able to capture these very advanced, very sophisticated samples of harmonics that are indicative of conscious activity, because we can see that go up from day to day to day. The treatment's only about 14 days in total, and you can see a substantial difference from day 1 to day 14 when you compare that data and the harmonics in that high frequency 40,000 hertz, 40,000 measurements per second, way better than EEG. And that those initial patients will actually be part governant. They will have some governance rights to how their data is actually used in the long run, which I think is really cool. And what that can also mean is that should they want to gift some of their data to their children, or to direct some of their whatever benefits come from the licensing of that Alzheimer's voice data, is that they can point that to a charity of their choice. They can donate it. They can pay off medical bills. They can do whatever they want to do with any of the proceeds that they see fit from that particular piece of an IP token, which I think is really fantastic and exciting. And this really does change in a big way how a lot of research is done in the United States and really in the world. And so with this model, we actually could really pioneer something completely new and something completely different that makes it more win-win for more people. And I think that's something that's worth striving for sure. Now, we may not do everything perfect, but I know that intentionally that the heart is there, that the authentic desire to do something better than how things are right now is there, absolutely. So here's my request to you. First, I want to thank you for watching. Second, make sure you like and subscribe, or follow me, or whatever platform you're on. Make sure you do all the bells and the whistles, okay? Because I'll have a lot more content on these kinds of subjects related to ultrasound and ultra type of technology. And the other thing you can do is consider joining our Ultra Skool, which is where we're actively doing breakout groups to engineer the study itself, to be part of that internal conversation. If that's something that you would like to contribute to, if you have a family member and you want to kind of support the space upon which this work is being done, then I would highly encourage you to head over to the Ultra Skool. I'll put the link in the description below, and you can go check it out, read the About page, understand what we're doing inside of the Ultra Skool. And we are doing a lot of cool stuff around ultrasound. So you can try out the technology yourself if you want. We're doing some very specific work right now to understand the relationship between stimulating the vagus nerve and inducing near-death experiences, or what other people call out-of-body experiences. So this is a core focus of ours right now, but we also have a section in there for the Alzheimer's and dementia study, because it was just a request made of me to pursue this. But my life will not be only about Alzheimer's and dementia. This is not the hill that I'm dying on at all. It's a piece of the journey. We'll be working on it for about 6 months, and I hope you can either follow along, make your voice heard, be a supporter if you want to step up to that degree. But yeah, whichever way you choose to go, I admire you and respect you, and I'm grateful for you. So have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks, take care, bye-bye.